When a great feudal lord of central Japan, Takeda Shingen, passed away, his son, Takeda Katsuyori, succeeded to his position. He wanted to impress his followers. My father has passed away. I am the leader now. I can do as well as my father. I can do even better than my father. Katsuyori started to invade the enemy bases around his territory. Katsuyori's army defeated them one after another. Katsuyori was so strong. Now, his new target is another important base of the Oda's army, which is called Nagashino Castle. The master of the Nagashino Castle is called Okudaira Nobumasa. Takeda's army started to attack this castle with thousands of soldiers. Nobumasa defended with only 300 soldiers. He has barely survived. Now, inside the castle, Sunemon, Tori Sunemon, I will give you an important mission. Run to Okazaki Castle and ask for support to the allied forces of Oda and Tokugawa. We badly need their support. The obedient follower Tori Sunemon dashed out of the castle. He sneaked out of the surrounding soldiers and he swam along the river, dashed into the forest. He continued to run and run. The distance between Nagashino Castle and Okazaki Castle was about 50 kilometers. Tori Sunemon continued to run in the forest for 18 hours. Please help us. When Sunemon got to Okazaki Castle, he learned that the allied forces of Oda and Tokugawa were just preparing to attack Takeda's army. Oh, good. So they are just leaving to save our fellows in Nagashino Castle. Thank you very much. Our master will definitely appreciate your support. Tori Sunemon left for Nagashino Castle. He needed to tell his master about this support. He needed to hurry back because if he is a little late, his master Okudaira Nobumasa might surrender because of the enemy Takeda's severe attacks. No, my master, please don't surrender. Don't surrender. Your support is on their way. They are going to help us out. But on his way back, Tori Sunemon was found by patrolling troops of the Takeda's army. He was captured by the enemy. Takeda Katsuyori talked to him in person. Hey, Sunemon, I have to take you to the forefront of the battlefield, and I will show your tied body to your fellows. Talk to your fellows. Talk to your master. Tell them that their support will not come. Tell your master to surrender and disarm his army. If you do that, I will save your life. I will hire you. I will give you a new position. How does that sound? Tori Sunemon accepted the offer, and he agreed to shout what Katsuyori told him to say when he was taken to the battlefield. He had to face his fellows, defending Nagashino Castle about 40 meters away. Oh! Tori Sunemon! Sunemon is captured by the enemy. He is tied up on a post. Facing his fellows, Tori Sunemon shouted, "My fellows! Survive 2 more nights! Your support will be coming soon! Tens of thousands of troops will come to save your lives!" Hearing this word, Takeda Katsuyori got furious. Sunemon, you betrayed! Now you know what is going to happen to yourself! I am another samurai. You underestimated me. I'm not such a cheap guy. Now my fellows know that their support will come. Takeda Katsuyori, it's our victory. Hey, prepare yourself for the defeat. Shut up. Just finish this guy. 2 men standing beside Sunemon suddenly pierced his body with 2 long spears. Yeah! Hey! Tori Sunemon shouted in pain and he died. Watching Sunemon stabbed and hearing him shout, men at the Nagashino Castle were shocked at his bravery. Oh! Sunemon Sunemon sacrificed his life to let us know about the support. They got angry. We will never forgive them. We will never forget this scene. Their anger gave them enough power to put up with the repeated severe attacks of the Takeda's army. Several weeks before this scene, Oda Nobunaga and his men were discussing strategies to fight against the Takeda's army. How many guns are available now? We are now producing 1,000 new guns. In a few weeks, we will be able to use 3,000 guns altogether. How is the training going? We are now training our 3,000 foot soldiers to shoot guns every day, every night. Make sure 3 foot soldiers work together in a team. When the first soldier shoots, he goes back to prepare for the second shot. Then the second shooter comes to the front and shoots, and then he goes back. Then the third shooter comes to the front. Train them to load their guns as quickly as possible. Make them compete. The one who loads his gun the fastest will get a special prize in the next battle. Our 3,000 foot soldiers will stay in ditches and behind the fences and only shoot guns. Those who try to come out and fight with swords will be punished. They will be executed on the spot. This is going to be a gun battle. Order all the gun makers and gun merchants to prepare as many guns as possible. This is one of the reasons why I got this city, Sakai, the center of trade, the center of gun production. We have monopolized guns now. This is the latest style of fighting. We will surprise the enemy. Oda Nobunaga was fully ready to use guns in the next battlefield. He had ordered his men to build ditches and mounds on the ground in the place called Shitaragahara, so that 3,000 foot soldiers could hide and prepare for shots. Thousands of Takeda's great horse soldiers will be greeted with thousands of gun bullets. Even the bravest Takeda's horse soldiers wouldn't be able to block or dodge gun bullets. A few weeks later, the allied forces of Oda and Tokugawa marched toward the enemy. They knew the major battlefield would be Shitaragahara. To the south of Shitaragahara lies Toyokawa River. To the north lies huge mountain range. To the west are the allied forces of Oda and Tokugawa, consisting of 30,000 soldiers. To the east are Takeda's soldiers, consisting of 15,000 soldiers, behind which is Nagashino Castle, where people are waiting for Oda's arrival and are under severe attacks of the Takeda's army. Oda Nobunaga and Tokugawa Ieyasu were discussing plans. Mr. Oda, this looks perfect. If the Takeda's horse soldiers come towards us in this field, they will be good targets of our gunfire. Our large forces will be able to chase and defeat them quite easily. Mr. Oda, this is our victory. It seems that way, but it is not good enough. We want to make sure that this is a perfect battle. I want to show our overwhelming power to the enemy. Mr. Tokugawa, could you do me a favor? Please send 4,000 soldiers to save our men surrounded by the enemy in Nagashino Castle. We want to secure a fortress behind the enemy. We want to threaten the back of the enemy. Mr. Tokugawa, could you do that? Near Nagashino Castle is a fortress called Tobigasuyama Fortress. If Oda's army manages to get this fortress, they will be able to release the forces in Nagashino Castle. Besides, they will be able to threaten the back of the enemy. Tokugawa Ieyasu was talking to his men. Mr. Oda wants me to get this fortress. Of course I must do it. Sakai. Is Sakai Tadatsugu here? Yes, I am present here. I will give you 4,000 soldiers. Take a detour and attack Tobigasuyama Fortress. Just get it. Sakai, you remember, don't you? 武田信玄 The father of our enemy defeated us in 三方ヶ原 2 years ago. This is our revenge, our retaliation. This is the chance to destroy our long enemy. Sakai, just do it. Sakai Taratsu and his men with skillful snipers took a long detour spending the whole night. They got to Tobigasuyama fortress. They went to the back of the fortress. They suddenly started shooting guns and arrows all at once. Fearless soldiers started climbing on the fences of the fortress trying to get inside. It was a surprise attack, but the Takeda's army responded quickly. The commander of the fortress, Kawakubo Nobuzade, quickly sent soldiers for defense. Takeda's soldiers dashed towards Sakai's fighters, trying to pass over the fences. They stabbed and killed them one after another. We won't let you in here. Just go to hell! Yeah! Sakai's attacks were repeated, but the fortress had a stone-walling defense. Sakai's fighters couldn't break inside. Traditionally, in battles of fortresses, defenders had advantages. Attackers needed much more power. Sakai needed more soldiers, but the number was limited. What should I do? How can I break into this stone-walling fortress? When he was racking his brain, an unexpected support arrived. Soldiers from Nagashino Castle joined the attack. Oh, Mr. Sakai, thank you very much for coming all the way to fight against the Takeda's army. Thanks to your arrival, we were able to cut off the surrounding soldiers. Now, Mr. Sakai, let us help you break into Tobigasuyama fortress. Oh, Mr. Okudaira, you are our greatest support. I appreciate your assist. Okay, let's thrust into the enemy. They pushed and pushed. Finally, in their fourth attack, Sakai and Okudaira's army broke into Tobigasuyama fortress. Okudaira's soldiers fought severely. They remembered Sunemon, who was stabbed and killed in front of them. Their anger exploded. This is for Sunemon! Yeah! Takeda's army was pushed back little by little. Sakai and Okudaira's army chased and killed. Finally, after hours of bloodshed, Tobigasuyama fortress was occupied by Sakai and Okudaira. Now, at the headquarters of the Takeda's army. Master! Tobigasuyama fortress was attacked by Oda's army. It is now occupied by the enemy. The commander, Kawakubo Nobuzade, has passed away. Master, we are now facing our enemy on both sides. The enemy has 30,000 soldiers. We have only half that number. We are on a losing ground. We must retreat now, Master. We must retreat now. Who do they think I am? I am the leader of the Takeda's army, the army that destroyed Tokugawa Ieyasu 2 years ago. Now Ieyasu is with that stupid leader of Owari, the one who is hated by feudal lords all over Japan. I will defeat this guy! What? What did you say? Retreat? Hey, what has happened to you? What has happened to you? Why are you being so weak? We have won so many battles against the Oda's army. We are on a winning streak. This is just a part of it. Of course we will win this battle. Don't worry. We will defeat this ridiculous allied forces of Oda and Tokugawa. Don't worry. Just finish them, Master. The enemy has 30,000 soldiers. There is the enemy behind us too. Shut up. Forget about the tiny enemy behind us. Just focus on our major enemy in front of us. Hey, what do you think? This is really quiet, isn't it? There are no signs of enemy attacks. Why? This is because our enemy isn't ready. This is a chance to fight and defeat the enemy. It has been decided. Okay, we are fighting now. On the early morning of May 21st, in the third year of Tensho, which is 1575, the Battle of Nagashino broke out. One of the Takera's officers, Yamagata Masakage and his men dashed toward the enemy. Masakage's soldiers ran and ran. There were no signs of enemy soldiers in front of them. There were some barricades and mounds that seemed to have been built by the enemy recently. Useless defense. Masakage's soldiers continued to run. When they avoided some barricades and mounds and kept on going, they found themselves in a tiny space with two long mounds. Oh, this is a trap. Masakage noticed hundreds of guns stick out of the mounds. All the guns fired at Masakage's soldiers on horses. Masakage noticed many of his soldiers slip down the saddles and hit the ground. Oh! There are many guns here, but the enemy is so close. They have just shotguns. They can't shoot for a while. The enemy is so close. Just go forward. Fearless soldiers kept on going. However, in a matter of seconds, Masakage heard the second fire of the enemy. Half of his soldiers fell down the horses and hit the ground. They only heard the gunshots of the enemy and sounds of their fellows falling down on the ground one after another. We can't stay here. Just go back. Retreat now. When Masakage's soldiers started to retreat, the gate of the Oda's base flapped open. Hundreds of Oda's horse soldiers dashed into the enemy. They yelled and yelled. Whoa! Wounded the enemy soldiers were easily, mercilessly killed by the Oda's horse soldiers. But when the Oda's horse soldiers saw the second wave of the Takera's army coming closer, they stopped. Stop! We are not fighting against them. We are going back now. They quickly turned around and dashed back to the base. The gate was tightly closed again. Yamagata Masakage and his men approached the officers of the second wave. Wait! Avoid the base on the left side. There are so many guns. Huge number of guns there. Try the one on the right side. Yamagata Masakage and his men dashed forward, leading the whole unit. Again, Yamagata Masakage is an old officer, but he's so energetic and enthusiastic. The whole unit swerved right this time. They targeted the right side of the enemy's defense. Takeda's horse soldiers rumbled the earth. Dashing of the entire unit sounded like a huge earthquake shaking the entire battlefield. They ran and ran. Whoa! On the other hand, Oda's foot soldiers who were stationed in ditches stuck out their long guns aiming at the enemy. They had practiced this hundreds of times. They pointed their guns toward the horses of the soldiers. Without horses, Takeda's great horse soldiers would be of no use. The enemy was only 50 meters away. Not yet! Oda's officers shouted. The snipers were perfectly ready. Their hands were still. Their eyes are clearly focused. They believed in themselves. They had no fear. Fire! When the first bullets were shot, 50 to 60 enemy horses fell on the ground. Quickly, the second shooters came to the front. They aimed their guns at the enemy about 20 meters away. Fire! Guns roared. Half of the enemy soldiers fell on the ground. Quickly, the third soldiers came to the front. The enemy was only 10 meters away. They did not panic. They knew exactly what they should do. They aimed and carefully pulled the trigger. Fire! Almost all the enemy soldiers fell on the ground. When a few of the enemy soldiers managed to get to the fences or ditches, Oda's other foot soldiers who were waiting behind the shooters stuck their spears, which pierced the chest of the enemy soldiers. Oda's shooters remained calm. Even when a few of the enemy soldiers approached ditches or fences, they never panicked. They continued to load their guns and kept on shooting. They never panicked. When the enemy soldiers started to run back, Oda's archers shot their arrows all at once. Again, scores of enemy soldiers fell on the ground. After that, the gate of the Oda's base flapped open. Hundreds of Oda's soldiers dashed into the enemy. Again, they yelled and yelled. Whoa! This was repeated over and over again. The Takeda's lost huge number of soldiers. Now is the time to finish the battle. Everyone, go! Oda Nobunaga ordered. the entire army to dash into the battlefield. The army that more than doubled the size of the Takeda's army chased the enemy with overwhelming power. It was a total breakdown for the Takeda's army. Oda's horse soldiers chased and killed and killed. Most of the leading officers of the Takeda's army were mercilessly killed by the Oda's horse soldiers. Master, what are you doing? We must retreat now. What has happened to us? Aren't we supposed to be the strongest horse soldiers? Why are we so weak? Aren't we supposed to be the king of Central Japan? Why did so many of us get killed in the battle? Aren't enemy shooters slow enough to be defeated by us? Why can't they keep shooting so constantly? Who told me these things? Did you lie to me? Master, this is not the time to be regretting. Please stop acting like a child. We must retreat now. Master, you must go back and prepare to fight against the enemy. Destroy the enemy, Master. Please retreat. Takeda Katsuyori had no choice. He ordered the entire army to retreat. They had to run away. Oda's army chased and killed and killed. The Takeda's lost most of the major officers who had contributed to the Takeda's army for a long time. They lost nearly 10,000 soldiers. Takeda Katsuyori was saved by a minor feudal lord, and he barely ran back to his territory. It was a close call. Mr. Oda, I'm sorry. I missed him. Katsuyori will probably run back to his own territory. I am sorry. No, don't worry. Katsuyori has lost confidence. He will surely lose his power in Central Japan. It won't be long before we fight again and finish the Takeda's army. Mr. Tokugawa, you want to kill him right away, don't you? Don't be so greedy. Don't be in such a hurry. Just like a ripe fruit falling from a tree, Katsuyori will fall. As for today, let's celebrate our perfect victory. Takeda Katsuyori retreated, and he started to prepare for the attack against Oda's army. But his defeat at the Battle of Nagashino was so serious, he didn't listen to his experienced officer's precious advice, and he lost confidence from his men. However, he continued to fight against Oda's army severely in spite of his loss of confidence, which undermined his power. 7 years after this battle, in 1582, Oda Nobunaga declared a total war against the Takeda's army. This time, many of the Takeda's soldiers ran away. Some of them went over to the other side. Finally, Takeda Katsuyori was surrounded by Oda's army and he killed himself. Japanese feudal lords keep their farewell poems in their pockets, just in case they died in battlefield. Here's the last poem of Takeda Katsuyori. Beautiful moon, slightly covered with clouds, is peacefully setting beyond the mountains in the west. So is my life. おぼろなる月もほのかに雲かすみ晴れてゆくへの西の山の葉。おぼろなる月もほのかに雲かすみ晴れてゆくへの西の山の葉。1582 is the year when Takeda Katsuyori passed away, and this year 1582 is also the year when Oda Nobunaga passed away. Why? Why did this happen? What happened to him? What happened to him in Honnoji Temple? If you are interested, please come back to the show and enjoy listening to my English Kodan. As for today, let me finish the episode of the Battle of Nagashino. Thank you very much.